All right. Good afternoon, everybody. I am just Vince, and welcome to Gaming Tonic. We are joined here today by my good friend and co-host, my
Devin
man.
Kronk, what's going on?
Not a lot.
Welcome. Happy Saturday, guys. We are also joined by another special guest today. He's got a new name, but he's still the same old guy. Not Shrimpy. How's it going, buddy?
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. Glad to have you here. Excited to have you here. It's been a little while coming. We're glad you've joined us, though. Very
Glad to be here,
excited.
dude.
Very excited, man.
Yes.
So, what's up, man? How are you? Who are you? What's been what's been going on with you? Not Shrimpy. This is your first time on the show. We're glad to have you here. So, what we want you to do for us is just tell us and all of our listeners, any of our guests watching live, anybody like that, who are you? What are you about? What do you love about content creation? What got you into it? That sort of thing. Anything you want to share with us to tell us who is Not Shrimpy. We want to know.
So, a lot of you guys formerly know me as I'm Sniper Killer.
Mhm.
I just recently changed my name. Fun fact, I was given Shrimpy. Shrimpy was given to me as a nickname by one of the homies, and it just kind of stuck with me. Not a lot of people called me Sniper in the first place, so
Wait, so
I
people
just
were people
decided
were
to
calling
make
you
it.
Shrimpy anyways?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
it was like an icon. It was like an
perfect.
iconic nickname. It was great.
Perfect.
Um, So I started streaming and doing content creation around my birthday of last year, actually.
Hmm.
I think today marks 13 months.
Wow, right on.
Um,
Fog.
and I originally used to be a console streamer before switching over to PC about 4 months ago. Um, but it's been a wild ride ever since, honestly. I stream on Twitch, as you can see under my name. You can see my Twitch. It's the same thing for my Twitter as well and most of my socials.
Right on.
That's really about it about me. I'm just an average gamer living an average life with my above average homies.
I'm sure you live an extraordinary life, okay?
Above average homies. You're right about that. You got plenty. I would say I've met a lot of people through both you and Devin Kronk, and every single person that I meet in your guys' circle, I'm like, how do y'all just know this many extraordinary human beings? Honestly, like all the gang is so cool and so friendly and helpful to each other. I love it.
I know. I think about that sometimes when I'm after a stream, I'll just sit there and I'm like, damn, there's a lot of cool people out here, man. Like, how did I happen to find all you guys?
There really is. I mean, the amount
Yeah,
of people I've just encountered through the two of you. I mean, like Shoria, Rance, DCT, Rachel. I mean,
yeah.
Myth now. I've only gotten to tune into a couple of his streams. I've been tuning into more now that he's streaming things besides Dead by Daylight because that puts me to sleep. But personal opinion. I haven't been quiet about that. I don't like DVD. But I mean, y'all just know a lot of really cool people. So it's been exciting to get to know you, and I'm glad to finally have you on the podcast. So I'm glad you're here, dude.
Glad to
But
be here.
so, Devin, we'll start with you. What's been going on with you, content creation wise? Has it been a busy week? What have you been up to? What's been going on in your world, man?
Last week, what did we do last week? We played Monster Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
I've been streaming a little more Valorant lately, which is
Really?
a little divergent from my usual doings, but yeah, I did that like one day. I did Valorant, Monster Hunter. I PB'd in Mario on Friday, and I made a new playlist. It
What's your
was
new
it was
What's your new PB? Gotta know.
127 something. I don't remember the seconds, but 1 minute and 20, 1 hour and 27 minutes.
1 minute. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
one
One.
minute.
1 hour. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's
Yeah,
awesome, dude. That's a
yeah.
big day.
It was stoked. I was super stoked because I was kind of I just got on and I was just gonna do like a little practice run and then I ended up beating my time. It was pretty sick.
Nice, dude. Nice. Just accidentally falling backwards into some easy
Into victory.
success. We like it.
Yeah, that's kind of I always win when I don't try. That's just me in a nutshell.
Perfect, dude. Perfect.
Lose when I do try.
That's
How
awesome.
was uh how was your week, Sniper? What are you up to, man?
To be honest, these past few weeks have been more of a mental refresher. Burnouts low key hit me, but we're coming back strong. Um,
It
but
happens.
over the past week, it's been mainly just a lot of Valorant late night and a lot of polishing my RE4 runs. Trying to get higher up on those speedrun.com leaderboards. Hopefully for New Game Amateur for Resident Evil 4. I want to try to get within top 5 and hopefully top 20 for New Game Pro eventually. So,
What rank are you right now on it? You main amateur, right?
God, for the past month, I think New Game Amateur, I'm still rank 10, but I think New Game Pro, I'm rank 92.
And that's 10 in the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many people on that leaderboard, so.
Still pretty cool. That's an achievement.
So, and to be clear, for people who aren't familiar with it, you're essentially doing Resident Evil 4 speed runs, just like
Correct,
trying to push through the whole game as fast as you can. And is that on the remaster or on the original Resident Evil
It's on
4
the
release?
HD remake on Steam.
Nice,
So,
nice, right on, dude. And
Yeah,
how
that's
did
cool.
how did you originally get into that, if you don't mind me asking? Because that's a pretty niche thing to be into, you know?
so if you know me, you know my theme. I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the main things that got me into it was just for my love of the game. And I guess watching other runners complete it. There's a 12-hour, 3-part guide by one of the veteran runners was known as Mike Wave, and I sat through that at least 3 times each, learning the new game pro strats.
There you
Thank you,
go.
Microwave.
And then we're gonna not talk about new game amateur, a whole different hell to learn, if you mind me. It is a very easy category, but just the strats are so much different because on new game pro, it, if you're familiar with runs in horror games or action games, you'll know about this thing called DA or difficulty adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
On amateur, the enemies have a lower DA. You start at 0, so basically you can just run past enemies without them even doing anything.
Oh, okay.
Um,
The RNG.
Whereas on Resident Evil Pro, New Game Pro, you are locked at the highest difficulty adjustment, which basically is gonna have the enemies aggro you right away. So you have to actually respect their hits to not get hit. You have to bait them into an attack before you run past them for most enemies. On
Interesting.
New Game Amateur, however, you can just run past them.
Yeah.
There are very, very few times where you have to manipulate your difficulty to make it as low as possible. I'll give you one example, if that's cool.
Yeah, go for it.
Del
Go for it.
Lago,
Yeah.
Chapter 1-3, the giant salamander in the water.
Uh-huh.
You manipulate him by dying in the second chapter, and then you run into one of the tripwires down in the lake if you're in that chapter, if your difficulty's too high.
What a
Big
trip.
brained.
I
Yeah.
mean, the more you know. We actually had a question come up for you in the chat from Ruffles. Let's see how true of an RE fan you are. What does STARS stand for?
Special Tactics and Rescue Unit. Rescue Service.
Service.
There
All
you
right,
go.
we
There
got
it
it.
is.
We
I was
got
gonna
it.
say there's no U in that. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say, where did you get the U
Star
from?
U?
But we've
Staru.
done it. But
Staru,
we've
yeah.
done it. He did it. He did it. He knew it right away. He got it. He passed the test. A real Resident Evil fan, the speedrunner himself. That's
He's a
sick though,
true
dude.
fan.
Right on, right on. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. I mean, most of you who are watching the stream, listening to the podcast, you're already familiar with what I've been up to the last week. It's been pretty much nonstop Smite. I mean, that's what I've been living and breathing this week for the most part. It's been going really well. It's been a ton of fun. We finally got our sub goal set up. We're gonna be doing a Lady Bisky cosplay at 500 subs, and she's a
Yes.
VTuber who has like a super cute like anime avatar, and so that's the game plan, is to do one of those streams once we hit 500. So that's
hype.
yeah, that's big excitement. My cat's
I
like
like that.
playing with a toy next to my desk, making a lot of noise right now. So I'm trying to like move her toy somewhere else. She keeps moving it back. I literally threw it on the other side of her, and she pulled it back over. But
Give
we've
me attention, please.
Yeah, no
says
kidding.
That. Yeah.
we've managed to get through an entire week of streams without my cat shutting off my computer by pushing the power button. So that's a pretty big milestone for me in my streaming career. We're very excited about that.
Thank you, Ori. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of some pretty exciting times, content creation wise. That's for sure. We're nearing the 1,000 followers mark. So if you've been a part of that at all, thank you so much to anyone who's been involved with that. I really appreciate all the support. Y'all been crazy. And yeah, that's been life. It's we're out here.
Eventful. Yeah.
Yep, streaming,
You love to see it.
having an incredible time, and they're talking about my cute anime emote too. I think this is a tier 2 sub
Tier two.
emote only, but
Yeah.
I threw it up in the chat. It's just Vince Uwu. Yeah,
I love that
Kinasu
emote.
Kinasu actually made that one for me. If we can ever hit partner It'll be available as a tier 1 emote that other people can use too, but it's
Sir.
exclusive to tier 2 right now because we don't have enough slots, unfortunately. So
Partner soon.
yes, we're hoping. We're hoping. So a lot of gaming news happened this week. There's been some not like, I hesitate to say a lot of news, but some pretty big news in my opinion. You know, pretty
Yeah.
significant. Some very controversial, ground shaking things happening in the industry right now, and I think it's definitely worth mentioning. Wait, King, he used the emote. Did you unlock that emote, King? Hold on. Okay. Anyways, gaming news. Gaming news. So Sony is apparently planning to port PlayStation IPs onto mobile devices. This comes as zero shock to me. You know, I mean, the mobile landscape is massive. It sprawls just like so many generations of phones at this point. They port mobile games to PC. They port mobile games to Switch. I mean, I'm not crazy about this choice, but I understand it. There's too much money in it not to.
Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much what I had to say about it. I mean, if they can, then why not? You know, that's and obviously they can. So here it is. Have some Sony games on your phone, I guess.
Yeah,
You know what? Can I speak about this real quick?
go for it.
Back to Resident Evil real fast.
Okay.
Take a wild guess how many ports Resident Evil 4 has been ported on.
How many ports?
Yeah, or how many, I guess, systems, or how many ports?
How many ports it's had? Okay, so you're talking about like multiple generations here?
3.
Yeah, 3. 3 would be my guess. I'll say, as far as like consoles that it's been released on, I mean, we've got like the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, correct? Wasn't that the first? And then it's probably come out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Oh wait, PS3 and
PS4.
was it on PS2? And Xbox? Hold up.
It was on
Resident Evil
PS2?
4?
Yeah.
I think there's about 15 ports of the game.
It was on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Bro,
It was
was
on GameCube. It
What?
was on GameCube.
What was its
PS2.
original release console? What where did
I think it was GameCube.
what the heck? I did not know that.
Yeah, I think there's about 15 ports of the.
I thought it was a PS2 game.
I mean, I'm on the Wikipedia right now looking at ports, trying to see how much stuff this has come out on. Jeez.
This is the biggest piece of gaming news this week.
GameCube, PC, PS2, PS3, Wii, Xbox 360, and then the remakes that happened for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And also, I think it's on mobile, it said.
Yep.
As well.
Wait.
There was also the PC07 port, but we don't talk about that port. It was terrible.
That's
I will tell
crazy.
you that.
I mean, it's a banger of a game, but man, they're not stopping with the ports on that one. That's some shenanigans right there.
Switch as well.
And Switch, yep, and Switch.
PS5 and Xbox Series X as
It is
well.
on Switch.
It's been
Where do you
everywhere.
get it on your phone?
I think it's stopped back on the iPhone 6.
Oh, okay. I was
Jeez.
gonna say I didn't see it on my app store.
Oh, Ruffle said and the PS Vita also.
There we go.
If anybody remembers that console, I miss my Vita. I really do. It's like the JRPG machine. It was so good. Really a missed opportunity there, Sony. And they're out here porting games to mobile devices now, apparently. Shrimpy, we talked about mobile games last week. Do you play games on your phone ever?
Very rarely. I'm more of a Netflix guy.
Oh, you like watching Netflix on your phone when you're watching stuff. I vibe with
Video
that.
services exclusively.
And something else.
Some games.
Yeah, something else I want to discuss real quick that they mentioned was like Sony remastering The Last of Us as well. This is a head scratcher for me. It already looks great on current hardware. I don't see why they're doing this. It's like
weird.
It's like they're just like, oh yeah, you know, people haven't been asking for a Jack and Daxter remake or anything like that for the last like 10 years. Let's go ahead and remaster a game that literally like just came out at the end of the PlayStation 3 life cycle and the start of the PS4 life cycle that we've already done a remaster of. And we'll do a full remake on that. The reason that I think they're doing this is because of the movie or whatever that's supposed to be coming out, would be my guess. I think they're trying to.
They're doing a movie.
Yeah, I think they're trying to. It might be a TV show. The Last of Us movie.
Cool. I guess that makes sense in a marketing way.
Oh, it's
Like
a
in a
series.
gaming
It's a
way?
series on HBO. That's what they're
Oh.
getting. Yeah, had to double check. Say
Means
yeah.
it's gonna be graphic.
They might be getting a movie too in the same universe. I'm not sure, but even still, like I basically assuming this is a cash in here. You know, considering
Oh,
The
yeah.
Last of Us 2 just released. So at this point, they're like, we need to have something to just push out to cash in on the hype. Kind of like how I'm guessing that the remake of The Witcher 3 that's supposed to be coming as well is probably going to be landing somewhere around the same time as season 2 of The Witcher on Netflix. Similar deal.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but it's just unfortunate. Out of all of your wonderful exclusive Sony, you gotta remake a game that doesn't need a remake. I don't. A little bitter. It's all right though.
Yeah, no kidding, no kidding. I mean, it's not been long enough. It really
Yeah,
hasn't.
not
It
nearly.
feels weird to remaster this game or remake it or whatever.
Remaster, yeah, remake or remaster like a Ratchet and Clank or something before you. I don't know, and I feel like that's such a waste of resources.
Yeah, pretty much that. I mean, it just there's so many other things that they could do. Shoria said it himself. He said, "Give me Legend of Dragoon, Soul Reaver, Jack and Daxter." Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's so many other IPs that could use this treatment, and The Last of Us is not it. And then yeah, the best user remake is the wrong word. It's getting like a next gen upgrade though. They're doing quite a bit of work to make it be like super extra and more polished, kind of like the Skyrim Special Edition, but more so. I'm guessing. That's supposed to be coming out for consoles and PC. For The Witcher 3 specifically. So look forward to that if you're a Witcher fan. It's going to look even prettier. So that's big excite. The next piece of news that we've got on the docket, though, Activision CEO to get bigger bonuses as they lay off even more employees. Bobby Kotick got a $200 million bonus back in March is what was reported. And that was in an article from Bloomberg. So that's what he needs, right? A $200 million bonus while they fire more people.
Bobby raking it in.
But if it makes you feel better, they did choose to give their employees severance, healthcare, and a $200 BattleNet gift card when they fired them. So hopefully you can rest easy knowing that all of these people who just lost their jobs will be able to buy the new Overwatch loot boxes that come out.
Dude. That is
or
that's grand.
Just spend about all of that on Warzone.
Yeah.
No, please
throw their life away.
He said spend it. My man said spend it on Warzone, not like this. Oh no.
Never. I would never. I haven't spent a dime on that game.
Yeah.
Those employees might.
Yeah, no kidding. But I'm just like, how are you actually about to take a bonus that big and lay off your employees? Like faithful employees, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's...
If you're firing people who aren't doing your job, then okay. But like Blizzard customer service already kind of sucks right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like where are they cutting the fat from? They don't need less people. Like the state that the games are coming out in and stuff like that. I'm like, where are you finding this extra help that you just don't need all of a sudden? You know what I mean?
That's a weird one. I don't comprehend that. Possibly some COVID time stuff. I don't. That's like my best guess. Like, I don't know. Might be slow over at Activision.
There's no way.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a head scratcher in my eyes.
Yeah, I can't fathom what would bring them to a point where they're like, yeah, you know what? This guy needs this much more money, but we can just go ahead and fire all these other people. They don't matter, right? You know what I mean?
Kind of cringe.
Like, because obviously he's made enough money by this point. If he's getting $200 million bonuses, we can assume that this guy's well enough off that he probably doesn't need a $200 million bonus, realistically. You know?
What a massive, like, middle finger to the employees getting a BattleNet gift card. That's like getting fired from your job and somebody giving you like a $20 Starbucks card or something. Like, that's so terrible. I'd be mad. I'd be like, you can keep that. I don't even want it.
That's why I was like, what? Like, that's how you compensate your laid off employees.
It's like a pity gift.
Yeah. And I mean,
don't patronize me.
They did give him severance again and healthcare. You know, let's not ignore that. But it just seems like really ignorant to me to give them a gift card and then to still give this guy the bonus. You know what I mean? Like it's a head scratcher, like you said. I mean, this makes sense to none of us, but it's something that I wanted to talk about because it's like this kind of stuff is happening in the game industry and it's happening in businesses all over the world. Just like the top people in the company are getting taken care of and screw everybody else once they get what they wanted. And
spreading awareness.
Pretty much
through our gaming news. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not out here trying to get political or anything like that. I'm just saying take care of each other. That's the only message I'm going to send. You don't have to get any more political than that to be under the impression that you should care about the people around you. And I think it's that simple and that's it.
Agreed.
So I see stuff like that and I'm like, man, that's rough stuff right there. You know, it's like getting a participation trophy for doing your job.
Yeah, dude.
That's a little bit of a feels bad.
Great job.
You literally got the
Like,
blue ribbon of employment.
yeah.
But it's okay. It happens. It's probably going to continue to happen. Somebody said Activision's like the new EA. I think Activision's been EA. They've just been less quiet about it, or like more quiet about it
More,
for a
yeah.
long time. You know, so scary future for gaming, that's for sure. So an article from thegamer.com Brazil states that Brazil may start fining companies $700,000 for having loot boxes in their games. And this comes at the recommendation of the National Association of Child and Adolescent Defense Centers, because loot boxes are a paid item that has no guaranteed reward, giving out a random item instead. And basically, and that's a quote directly from the article again from thegamer.com/Brazil. And I think this is awesome. You know, like the more we crack down on loot boxes, the better. There are children getting taken advantage of every single day in mobile games on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, anywhere that there's loot boxes. They don't know better, and it is conditioning their brains to get used to gambling. And it's messed up. It really is. I mean,
Brazil stepping up.
Yeah.
That's a $700,000 fine. I mean, unless you're Bobby Kotick, that's a hefty sum right there.
Bobby Kotick runs through with the loot boxes on his game. He pulls up to Activision Brazil and he's like, "No worries, boys. This one's on me. I just got my bonus.
I got my bonus. Yeah,
Keep
dude.
the loot boxes in the games. We're not sweating it."
Yeah, dude. On like a lighter note, I National Association of Child and Adolescent Defense Centers. That sounds like a powerful organization, dude.
Yeah.
That caught my eye.
Yeah.
Didn't know that existed. And said.
Yeah, I had never heard of them before right now either. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I mean, I'm glad it is.
It's like Child Protective Services on like a global scale or something. What is it like?
I can
sounds tactical.
I'm thinking it's either that or it's specific to Brazil. That's what they call. They're like basically people who are responsible for researching the effect that like technology and stuff has on the youth and making sure the kids are taken care of, I would guess.
Epic.
But realistically, I mean, I think not enough focus is paid to exactly how much of a impact like social media and technology and, you know, just throwing a phone in front of your child to distract them is having on like the youth of the future. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's almost been like too short of a time to even really like establish that. Like I think my generation and maybe like a few years behind me will be like the first people you'll see those like effects in, really, you know?
100%.
Yeah. I mean, we are just now starting to see the effects and the research done on like what texting all the time can do for your thumbs, you know?
Yeah.
Like the research is finally starting to come out on that, you know, because I've been texting since I was a kid. I mean, how are your thumbs holding up, Shrimpy? Say.
I don't know, man. I mean, they're good enough to mash a space bar, so.
Hey, I'll take it.
I got strong fingers.
That's like, have you guys heard about the pinky bend or whatever from holding your phone up?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Yeah, I was gonna pull my phone up.
Yeah, I know.
You got the little divot in your pinky or what?
Yeah, dude.
I try not to think about it. too much.
It makes my finger hurt when I like hold when I think about it and hold my phone. I'm like, oh, this is very uncomfortable. Why do I do that?
That's why I just try to hold my phone like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much.
We got strong pinkies now. I could probably lift like 5 pounds with this baby. All right.
Yeah, I'm doing my best to gain a little bit more weight so I can eventually just set my phone right on my stomach, you know, and just like have it at an angle for me. That's what I'm looking for.
I want to hold it between my pecs, just squeeze it tight. You know? That's my goal.
That's the dream right there. That's the dream right there. Just being able to hold it between your man titties. Someday, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Moves.
So, Dark Side of Gaming article for the next piece of news states that Epic Games lost almost $181 million to the Epic Games Store in 2019 and $273 million in 2020. Wow. I mean, they have been continuing to give away games for free nonstop, and thank you for it, Epic, because I've been collecting free games. You know, we've been out here raking in the free games on PC, and it's awesome. Shrimpy, I know you just recently migrated over to PC. Do you have the Epic Games Store installed on your machine even?
I do.
Have you been collecting the free games?
No, I haven't.
There's some bangers. Sometimes they drop some goodies. Not gonna
Every
lie.
Bro, the only thing I got on there is Rocket League. That's all I need.
That's a good game.
and that one's free.
Yeah.
It's already
Exactly.
free. So that's not even a giveaway game, but he got it. So I mean, have you ever purchased anything off of the Epic Games Store? Either one of you or anybody in chat who wants to chime in. Have you ever bought something on the Epic Games Store?
Yeah, I have.
I'll pull up Epic Games right
Yeah,
now.
I need to
I'm
pull it up
pretty
real fast.
sure
Hold on.
I bought this one game that was like I think it's called like Ancestors or something. You play as a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like that's the game basically. You just play as a gorilla and try not to die. It's like a gorilla survival game. It's stupid, but it's kind of fun.
Wait, so
I didn't get I paid for that one though. I
how much was it?
think it was I think when I got it was like 20 or 30 bucks. I don't remember.
Gorilla
I got it a
Survival.
while ago. That was like before I started streaming.
Gorilla Survival. There you go. That's
Yeah.
awesome, dude. That's cool. Also, just real quick while he's looking to check his library, Roach, thank you so much for extending your tier 1 sub through May. I appreciate it. You're a gentleman and a scholar. You're excellent. Thank you for all the love
Alright,
and support, dude.
Apparently I have to update the Epic Games Store, so
Okay, no worries. We got some answers from chat too. We got like 3 no's. Sure, you said Godfall. Yes, we 3
Oh,
of us
yeah,
bought
Godfall,
Godfall. I
right.
mean, I still am waiting to see what that game turns into. I'm still excited for the future
Waiting.
of it, but
Yeah,
I'm
waiting.
hoping it comes with many optimization updates as well. And then I think pretty much everyone else was like, no, but we've been collecting the free games, and that's been a lot of it. I've actually bought a few games on the Epic Games Store. I bought Hades when it was in early access and was not available on Steam yet. I bought Godfall. I got a code secondhand, like through a gray market or whatever for Metro Exodus. I think I picked it up for like $30 after it released. So that was a worthwhile purchase for me on that one. I got a lot of fun out of Metro Exodus, and I think that's all the games that I bought on Epic. I might have bought more than that with a coupon or something like that at some point, but I'm scrolling through my list right now, and I think those are the 3
Oh.
that stick out
I
that I
got
purchased.
Borderlands 3. I think the new whatever it's 3, right? The new Borderlands. I got
yes.
that one
Borderlands
on Epic.
3,
Yeah.
World War Z is the last one. I purchased that one too when it came out.
Didn't that
So-
one go free like not that long ago?
It did go free not that long
Yeah.
ago. So I'm kicking myself now because I don't play it. But like I did buy that one when it came out, but I used a coupon on it, so it wasn't too expensive.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. But I mean, for them to be losing this much money from the Epic Game Store, I see this like they're looking at it from an Amazon point of view. You know, kind of like how we've discussed this a little bit before. Amazon was hemorrhaging money a little bit before all of their services really started to take off, and people really started to buy into the Amazon Prime subscription and all that stuff and all the benefits that come along with it, and it grew into what it is today. Amazon, like their TV service used to suck. Prime Video used to have like no shows worth watching on it. You know, it was like back when like
Yep.
Bosch was the only show on there that was halfway decent, and that wasn't even that good. And now Amazon is the giant that it is. You know, and if anybody has the extra money to throw around, it's Bobby Kotick and Epic Games. So I think realistically, you know, they're thinking the store's gonna suck for a little bit, and then it's gonna swing back in at some point, eventually, hopefully become a competitor for Steam. But I don't think it's in its current state ever gonna be a competitor for Steam, realistically.
Yeah, I don't. Even you know, like the only time I'd ever consider buying something on Epic is if it's Epic exclusive and it's something I really want.
Mhm.
But that hardly happens. Don't have to worry about that.
Were you able to open up your Epic library, Shrimpy, to see if you had bought
I
any
have
games?
to log in. I don't think I bought anything though.
Okay, no worries. You mentioned you only had Rocket League anyways, so that's the only thing significant enough to remember, at least, that you've gotten on there.
As long as you don't have Fortnite, you're good.
No kidding, dude. But like the main reason that I think that it's not going to be able to compete with Steam is I think that Steam at this point is almost on the like level of market share as like Xbox or PlayStation. Like
It's
Steam
the
feels
first thing you think of when you're gonna buy a game on a PC, at least for me. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it's like a new generation thing. People are like, oh, I want to get on Epic Games, and beats me. I got into it when Steam was the heavy hitter, so
Yeah, I feel. Also, secret nut sauce redeemed to hydrate. I took a drink of water. If y'all have it, feel free to drink. But that's my channel point reward, so I had to make sure to take a swig. But like the thing for me is like it feels more like its own console platform as part of the PC ecosystem than it does just a storefront. Like
Yeah.
Steam is so much more fleshed out than Uplay or EA Play or like the Epic Game Store or even GOG or anything like that. Like, it just feels so complete. There's review systems, there's forums, there's like dev updates and stuff like that go out on there. There's all of these things that you can look at and like customize and like do your own thing with, and this wealth of information and just like community surrounding this. There's like mods already built in, like the Steam Workshop, like it's where people go for games on PC, and I don't see that changing. Yeah, groups.
Groups are a cool thing. On a smaller level, like you can edit your profile and make it look all cool. I know a lot of people are into that. Like it's show off your achievements and your favorite badges and stuff. It's cool. I like Steam.
Yeah.
Steam's sick. It is. You're right. It's very fleshed out compared to like those other ones. They don't. All they have, it's like a game library and a storefront.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Yeah, most definitely. And the best user said, Steam is far more feature complete. I remember wanting to gift a game to someone on Epic and I just wasn't able to. Straight up just couldn't do it. Just couldn't even gift a game on Epic. Like, even if you wanted to.
That's tragic.
That sucks. I love gifting stuff to people.
Keep this for you, please.
That's what I'm saying. So, the last and potentially most important piece of news. Okay? Hot Wheels Unleashed got a gameplay trailer.
Oh,
and it
my
looks
God.
amazing. Did you get a chance to watch the trailer before we went live, both of you?
I watched it.
I did.
You didn't? Okay. Go
I'll watch it after though.
Yeah, go watch it, man. It looks so cool. Like if you like racing games and you played with Hot Wheels as a kid, like I might be showing my age a little bit here, even talking about Hot Wheels as a kid personally. But like I love it, man. I mean, I used to set up tracks around my room and like take them down the stairs because I had a 2-story house, and like I would never plan the turnout well enough, and my Hot Wheels would go shooting off the stairs and like make people mad. And like I had so much fun with this when I was younger, and the new trailer looks awesome. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is like, the one thing that I feel like arcade racers have been lacking a little bit is like longevity in the game. It's like you're gonna beat the campaign missions or whatever, and then the couple of side missions, and then be done with it. This is gonna have a level editor. You're gonna be able to build your own Hot Wheels tracks and include loops and boosts and turns and all that stuff. And I'm like,
when you told me that, that's kind of what like intrigued me the most. I think I don't care about those preset maps. The level editing is gonna be what takes it next level for sure.
I think it's like that in any game, honestly, like the Trials games as well. Like you have your level editors on the bike, and you can just fly around, and it's so much fun. I think that's what makes those games a lot more fun for me, is the amount of creativity the Hot Wheels or Trials community can make, and that's just with any level editing game.
Yeah,
I just think it's super sick.
Absolutely.
Nothing gets me more excited than seeing Vince get excited about Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
too,
dude.
So.
That's because it's freaking cool.
To get some Hot Wheels news.
I say, yeah, and also someone last night was talking to me on stream about a Hot Wheels expansion for Forza Horizon 4, and it got my hopes up. And I went to look. Forza Horizon 4 got a Hot Wheels car pack. It didn't get the full Hot Wheels DLC like Forza Horizon 3 did. So hopefully at some point, we get that, but not yet.
Because they knew the game was coming out.
Yeah. And real quick, Kinasu, you said, wait, is Hot Wheels is an old person thing, and made that weird face. Shrimpy, did you play with Hot Wheels as a kid?
I did.
Awesome. Okay, so it's not that old person 16. Of a thing. Okay, so there we go. Apparently that's still within the threshold. But
and he's 14.
Yeah, I'm 14.
Yeah.
Oh, can I jump back real quick to the Epic? Never mind, I forgot what I was gonna say.
No worries. Let's say if you remember the thought later on, share it. We'll take it then, but it's okay. No worries, dude. No worries. So our topic for today. Are you guys ready to get into it? You sure you can't remember the Epic Games thing, Shrimpy?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, no worries. Then we're gonna move on to it. But we're talking about transitioning from console to PC, and we're not only talking about gaming, we're talking about streaming too. Everything, all that stuff. And then real quick, the best user said, "You ever played Trackmania?" Yes, I did play Trackmania, and that's kind of what I'm hoping Hot Wheels turns into, is Trackmania. I was actually going to bring that up, but basically Trackmania with Hot Wheels sounds like a yes to me.
That sounds very cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the new Hot Wheels thing. So transitioning from console to PC, and we're talking anything here. Like I don't care if your last console was a GameCube, and now you're moving on to PC gaming, or if you were, buying a PlayStation 5 and you've been streaming off your PlayStation 5 and you're like, I still want to get a computer to take it to the next level. I think this is, kind of a point in our life that we've all been at some point where, we now have the funds to be able to do this. We have the means to be able to do this, or we want to get the funds to be able to do this because we're trying to take our streaming career or gaming career to the next level.
The upgrade time.
Yeah. So for all of us here, because we all got our Twitch links under our names if you're watching the live show, did you start streaming on console or PC originally? And we'll start with you on this one, Shrimpy.
Console streamer, 100%. Like I said, I transitioned to PC about 4 months ago.
Nice.
Fresh.
How you felt about the transition so far?
It's been a struggle for sure, especially in FPS games. But other than that, like a bunch of games I still play controller with, like Dead by Day. I can't play Survivor Dead by Daylight on controller or on a keyboard.
Really?
I can't do it. Killer, I have no problem, but or Survivor, I can't 360 ankle break people on keyboard.
Got to turn up that sense, man.
Oh, so to like do 360s, you have to turn your mouse around then, I'm assuming.
It's a mix of mouse and WASD. Like with the way the controls are set, I'm just not used to it. Rather with on controller, I can use let me grab my
Yeah, no worries.
so
Listeners, he's pulling out a controller right now.
yeah. So so you guys can see
Yeah.
I my left stick, I could just flip these in adjacent directions and just go around like that.
Oh, okay. Got you. Versus on PC, you have to hit like the keys and spin your mouse at the same time.
Yeah.
And it takes a little bit of getting used to. Yeah. For me personally, like I strongly identify with that. Like I keep an Xbox controller plugged into my computer actually. And that is specifically for racing games and also any third-person action RPG game that I don't have to shoot a bow in. Okay? If I'm going to be playing any class that I have to aim with, okay, I will use my mouse and keyboard.
I
but
agree.
Yeah, otherwise, I would rather play third-person action games on a controller 100%. My Witcher playthrough, controller. Dark Souls playthroughs, controller. Any 3D platformers, controller. Forza, controller. Like, I get that. I can't do... Have you tried to play any racing games on PC yet, Shrimpy? Do you play racing games?
No, I haven't. I haven't played any racing games
I was gonna
yet.
say racing games are like a must on controller if you're playing PC.
No, yeah,
like
100%.
it is disgusting. I almost like when I play when I played like Grand Theft Auto, for example, when I was
Mhm.
playing that a little bit, I'd play mouse and keyboard when I was playing as the person because shooting.
Yeah.
But whenever I would get in the car, I would pick up my remote and drive with my remote. Like it, it really be like that. Controllers hit the driving a lot smoother than a keyboard, in my opinion.
Ki-
100%.
Kinasu said, I play exclusively with the Wii Wheel controller for all
Probably
games.
controls better than a
Yeah,
keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. There's something about those gyro controls that just hit different, honestly.
Yeah.
And then, like Katao said, I got a gaming laptop last month and still need a controller for most games. Yeah, the transition is hard. It's really hard. I mean, trying to learn how to aim again on keyboard and mouse if you haven't done it before, or like I say again, but for the first time, I say again because I went back and forth between the two. But geez, it is not easy. Like
Yeah.
going either way. Every time I pick up a controller to try to aim at something after being on keyboard and mouse for so long, I legit feel like I'm just like taking my two fists and putting them on the thumbsticks and trying to control like that. I'm so bad at it. Like it literally feels like I'm trying to control the thumbsticks with my knuckles. But
That's how I feel right now.
Yeah.
I hopped on my PS4. I hooked it up in the living room the other day, and I was trying to play some game that involved aiming. I don't remember exactly, but like it just felt so uncomfortable because I haven't played on my PS4 in like probably like 7 months or something. Like it was weird. It goes back and forth for sure. It's hard to relearn shooting on a controller after you've been on PC for so long.
Yeah. King said, real gamers use rock band drums for everything. Personally, I don't.
Yeah.
I must not be a real real gamer. I use the DK Jungle Beat bongo drums in conjunction with a DDR dance pad for all of my games.
I actually
So-
that
use
makes you more of a gamer.
the Sega rifle gun. You know what I'm talking about? The little that's what I used.
the
I'm
the
more of
Time
a beta than
Crisis.
all of you.
Yeah, something like that.
I use the Wii sniper. I guess I'm more of a beta.
Oh my god! Wait, like the 2-part one
Yeah,
for Link's
yeah,
crossbow
dude.
training. Did y'all get that? Okay.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
game.
Oh gosh, not like this. Oh man. Okay. So Devin, what about you, man? Did you start streaming on console or PC originally when you first got
Started
into it?
streaming on PC because I had my PC think I got my PC like 6 years ago, 7 years ago, maybe. It's been a while now. I saved up my whole life for this thing, man. Holidays, birthdays, and every shred of money I had before I got a job, I saved to get a PC.
Really? How old were you when
Yeah,
you first got it?
I was a freshman in high school, so
Wow.
probably like 14.
I don't know
Or
where you were getting
some
any
15.
money as a freshman in high school
I'm
personally,
telling
but
you, I
I
saved
was
I would get some money from, grandma and grandpa on my birthday or Christmas. I would just ask people for money. That's all I ever wanted.
Devin's out here outside of the Jack in the Box waiting for people to pay with cash so he can like get the change that falls on the ground, you know? He's like running
Can you
over
give
after
me
they
a
leave the
whopping dollar,
drive-through.
please?
Oh man. I mean that was like all of my source of income in high school was like extra change that people didn't want and stuff like that, and that kind
But
of is
yeah,
what it is. But
I shilled the couch change, I
yep.
went into the car,
Hey,
everywhere, man.
but you were the one that got a PC when you were 14.
Damn
So
right.
whatever you had to do, it was worth it. You know?
Yeah, it worked.
It paid off.
But
So
yeah, I started on PC.
nice, dude. Nice. So that's crazy that you were able to do that when you were so young. You know, that's absolutely insane. Because we had a computer in my house, but it definitely wasn't a gaming computer. It was
Oh,
just
yeah.
it was a functioning computer that had like an onboard graphics card, I think. But for me personally, I started streaming on PC originally, but my PC wasn't that great, so the stream was okay, but it definitely wasn't functioning. Then I moved over to no, I started gaming on PC, but then started streaming on console because my PC couldn't run it. That's what it was. I tried streaming on PC and it wasn't working like at all, so I was like, I'm gonna have to do this on console because when the new consoles were coming out, I was like, oh hey, all of these have streaming enabled. I'll give it a try now. And the first game I originally started streaming was Smite. So that's like where my streaming journey started, and then eventually it came back to here all this much time later on, and I started streaming playing Smite on the Xbox One during the beta for that because I'd been playing Smite on PC
Ooh.
for a while, and that was back in like 2014, 15, somewhere around there I think was when the Xbox beta happened, and it's just ever since then had been hooked on streaming, and then eventually was able to build my new PC that I have now after buying another PC back in I want to say 2018, and was streaming on PC on there, and that's been the story since.
That's all she wrote.
Yeah. But I think we
Yeah.
all started gaming though on console originally, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think my first console was the PS1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine was the PS3.
Yours is the PS3. Was your first console, man?
Young guy alert.
Let's say Devin's
Someone's younger
excited.
than me.
Devin's excited because he can
no.
point
I
the
thought you were
finger at someone else to be
Yeah.
young guy. What were you gonna say, Shrimpy?
I thought Devin was 14.
Huh? Oh no, he's not 14. Today Devin
I know.
Today Devin is 17 since you're 16. So
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
yeah,
okay.
sorry, you're slightly younger guy
Yes.
today. I'm sorry, Shrimpy. It is what it is. It happens. But my first console, we've talked about this before, that I remember was a Super Nintendo. I may have played the original Nintendo first, but as far back as I can recollect, it was the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And then I would occasionally go over to my aunt's to play the Nintendo Entertainment System. So that was the beginning of my
NES, dude.
Yep, the NES.
Oh, you know what? I guess I lied. I guess the Wii, because my grandparents had a Wii.
Oh, so you went over there and played that before you played the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
What did you play on the Wii?
A lot of Wii Sports. A lot of Guitar Hero.
Oh, baby.
No, young Shrimpy was good
Wii
on
Guitar Hero. That was a Pog game.
Yeah, that
Um,
was back in the day, man.
Olivia asked if Game Boy counts. Game Boy absolutely counts, by the way.
Yeah.
Game Boy 100% counts. So you're telling me that your grandparents had Guitar Hero?
Yes.
Your
Let me
grandparents?
tell you. Grandma Shrimpy is a beast on guitar.
Really?
Loud smoker.
Yes.
Easy.
Which
Nah,
Guitar Hero?
No. Guitar Hero 1, 2, 3, and I think she has 2 Rock Bands.
So was Through the Fire and Flames on Guitar Hero 3? Was that the Guitar Hero that had it? Because I would love a clip of Grandma
can't
Shrimpy
remember.
like shredding Through the Fire and Flames.
I can't remember. It's been so long.
I will destroy Grandma on Guitar Hero.
We need this matchup video to happen. I mean, just if you get a chance to do it,
This
please.
we'll record it. I'll post a video. It'll be great.
It's gonna be incredible. I cannot wait.
Let me use your grandma for clickbait, please.
Yeah, I that's a video I would click on YouTube personally.
Yeah,
I mean, I would
exactly.
click that thumbnail, just Devin and Grandma Shrimpy, just like both with Guitar Hero guitars, like getting ready to go at it. I'd be 1,000,000% down for that personally. Katao said all of my gaming has been on console. Started with Atari 2600, played some WoW and RTS games on PC back in the day, but consoles aside from that. And yeah, like I started out gaming on consoles, but I really first got into gaming on PC because I started playing EverQuest when I was 6 years old with my dad. I've told this story before on the MMO episode, and before that, he helped me like make my character and stuff like that. My parents actually got a second computer so that we could play EverQuest together. And then when World of Warcraft came out when I was 9 years old, that was like my main game for years. I mean, it's still a game I go back to. I still love it. But yeah, I mean, I've been both for a really long time. I've kind of always had a console as well as a PC. You know, even if it wasn't a gaming PC, it was a PC that would function for playing games. You know, even
Yeah,
if it was at 15
enough.
FPS, like, you know, even if my
relate.
PC buckled under the strain of Windows Pinball, it was a game and it was on there and it worked.
I have like kind of a similar experience. I would go to my grandma's house and play whatever I could on her like little desktop PC. It was god awful, but you know, when I was younger, I was like, this is incredible. This is all I can get. Like, you know, it was super cool. That's actually why I wanted to save up at like such a young age, because I would play those games on her PC, and I was like, well, there's better PCs that exist. I want to get one of those.
Yeah,
Like, all
yeah,
I was playing back then though was probably, you know, Roblox, Club Penguin, and I think I actually started playing WoW on that PC too.
yes.
I got the starter edition.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. Spider Solitaire, anyone? Yes, definitely Spider Solitaire. Played a ton of Solitaire back in the day. So how long were you playing on console when you were playing on consoles? You know, handheld or otherwise? We'll field this one to you first, Devin. Do you remember how long you were on console before you got the PC?
I mean, sheesh. Even when I got my PC, I would still kind of like float back and forth. Like even to this day, I have my PC and I play on my PC a lot. But if you know me, you know I'm like on my Switch probably just as much as I'm on my PC. So like I'm still real flippy floppy about it. I stream on PC, of course, but like as far as gaming goes, I'm kind of all over the place.
Yeah, most definitely. What about you, Shrimpy?
11 years.
Man, there we go. And you just recently made the switch. How long ago again?
4 months ago.
4 months ago. How have you been liking it, by the way?
It's tough, but I'm getting there.
You're
This
getting
guy's
there.
better than me at Valorant already.
Stop the cap.
I'm not capping. He's better than me, dude.
Dude,
He's good.
that's funny, man. I mean, he's been grinding though too.
Have you played with him recently?
I have not played with him recently.
He's
I've watched his
actually
streams
like
though.
he's actually getting like really good. He top frags every game. He's being humble right now.
Well, the thing is, see, I tune into Shrimpy's streams every now and then because I was watching his streams and playing with him back when he first transitioned to PC, and we'd play Valorant, and I would watch him shoot at people, and he's like, "Where are my bullets going?" I was like, "Spray control. Stand still before you shoot. Pull down." Because your gun is going to fire above where your crosshairs show, because that's how that's how recoil works in Valorant. And he was like, I am pulling down. I was like, you're not pulling down. He's like, I am pulling down. And I watch him now and he shoots and he's got the recoil control. And I know that he's getting better because I can see him do things that like people who practice the game are doing. And I'm like, he's improving.
And
He's
now
growing.
he tells me the same thing you told him. Like now the student has become the master. Okay, he's over here telling me what to do now.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Shrimpy?
I would say, do you not still see where? Oh, I just dropped my mouse.
Oh, it's okay.
Do you not? Do you not still see where I'm just like I have an absolute? I'm using my bottle as the mouse. I'm like pulling down, and I'm just like the spray is just going all left and right, and it's just like
Yeah.
It's those curved barrels, man.
Yeah, and
yeah, dude.
It definitely happens. It definitely happens. You know, like the recoil is crazy in Valorant if you have to spray for any length of time. And it takes a lot of getting used to. Yeah,
for sure. Like sometimes you just get unlucky.
Running headshots and precise gunplay.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly though, like that happens to me so frequently, there has to be some type of strategy to it, or I am just extremely unlucky. That's also a very high possibility.
The first shot with your Vandal, maybe the Phantom too, but for sure with the Vandal, no matter how fast you're moving, is accurate to where your crosshair is. Just a heads
No
up. Even if you're
way.
running, the first shot will be accurate to where
That's a
you're
Yeah.
game
to where you're
changer.
moving.
I
Yeah.
didn't
Every
know that.
shot
Why did
after
I?
that,
Nobody ever
anybody's
told me
game.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
about to play Valorant after this and pop off.
I
It's over now.
I tell
Are you
anybody
gonna
who
carry me?
asks,
Maybe we'll see.
I say hop in the little like baby carrier on the chest, and we'll just go together, just me and Shrimpy through Valorant. It'll be fun. But like I do my best to like teach people information that I've gathered from other people who are better than me at shooting games, as much as I can. And like as far as like the, stop moving completely before you shoot, make sure you're doing your recoil control and stuff like that. Like really understanding that, like, and learning to do it isn't something that you can do like until you practice it enough to where it finally clicks. And then as soon as it clicks, you're like, "Oh, this is what they meant the whole time."
Yeah.
And then you can start hitting people. And as far as like the curved barrel stuff, like I don't know if you guys are super familiar with this or not, but like it is random to a certain degree after it starts to spin to the left and right, but you can kind of counter the recoil because your gun will point at the bottom of your
Yeah.
screen, and you can like follow that and try to like compensate for the recoil
Yeah,
if you
move
can
your mouse
watch
the
both well
opposite
enough.
direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so much to try to focus on, and I'm like, they're probably going to kill me within my first 5 shots that missed anyways, so I never get that far.
Yeah, right.
But
I mean,
it'd be
you know
that way
what?
sometimes.
What blows my mind about that is that I've heard that the CS:GO recoil control is harder, and I feel like I can't even do it in Valorant. Like, man, that's a brutal one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
So for me, I was on console until, gosh, well, I guess until I was about 6 years old. That was when I started playing, EverQuest and all that on PC, and I still play console all the time. I mean, I've got a PS4 that I don't use too often, but I use my Switch regularly. Just whenever Nintendo games come out that I want to play, and I'm probably looking to get a PS5 as soon as they're more available than they are right now. I'm not trying to pay $800 to a scalper or fight in angry wave of internet people to try to get one of those. So I
Need
couldn't
a
be bothered
Switch,
to get a
dude.
PS5 at the moment.
Switch
You guys
Pog.
are hyping it up. I need one.
Is there any game that you would really want to play on the Switch?
Smash, Super Mario Odyssey, and Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing, really? That's one for you too, huh? Did you grow
You
up
know-
playing Animal Crossing?
No.
What made you want to play Animal Crossing?
Honestly, just the peacefulness and chillness of it. Sometimes when you're molding on Valorant, you need to step back and take a breather.
Have you heard about our friend Stardew Valley?
I have heard about Stardew Valley.
Have you tried it?
I haven't, because I haven't spent money on it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a lot cheaper than a Switch though, and it's a lot of the same vibes. From what I gather, I don't like to play either game for the same reason. I don't do Animal Crossing or Stardew for similar reasons. The only game I've played that's even close is Rune Factory, which is also on Switch, but and that's because it was more of an RPG than like a farming sim. But Stardew is definitely the same like peaceful, chill vibes, or Slime Rancher. You can go with that one too. I've heard that's a lot of the same feels, but
Slime Rancher.
yeah,
I was
Switch.
talking
Go
to.
ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Huh.
No, I cut you off. Go ahead. I was switching. Go ahead.
Give us what you're gonna give us, man. You're the guest here. Who are you
I
talking
was
to?
talking to Devin earlier,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, I'll gift you Resident Evil 4 on Steam if you learn the speedrun route for it. And I was gonna do the same thing with Super Mario Odyssey when I get a Switch. I want to learn that route because it looks fun.
Oh, so you want to do speed
We'll
runs?
trade.
Trade.
You want to do like
Yeah,
Odyssey speed runs?
Yeah, that would be sick.
Dude, like I watch the strats that Devin does on his speedrun streams, and I'm just like, how? Like actually
Let
how?
me tell you, we went crazy last night. I was fighting the big mecha boss, the mecha
Uh-huh.
brutal.
Yeah.
And I hit him. I killed 3 of the bunnies without falling off of the top, and I've never done that before. That was actually, I think, what saved that run. I don't think I would have PB'd if I didn't do that because it was kind of crappy up until that point. But there's so much potential time save right there. And I can talk about that all day. But I love that game. Jeez,
How
that was a
big
hard
was
strat.
how big was your PB?
127. I beat it by a minute,
Wow.
which is pretty big. Yeah.
I mean, that's huge. When you said your completed time is like an hour and something?
An hour and 27 is now my personal best, and then it was an hour and 28 before yesterday.
I mean, that is some
And some
progress then.
change.
That's huge progress. Like just like grand scheme of things, like cutting off a minute and stuff like that. Like that would be like I mean, if when you start getting to world record speeds, you know, like if somebody beat the current world record for Odyssey by a minute something, that would be like
Yeah, it's
mind blowing.
fat.
Like
Yeah,
that would be
exactly.
that would be like shaking to the speedrun industry, you know? Like
World
so
record in Odyssey is 57 like 41 or something, I think.
jeez.
So it's yeah, sub hour. It's pretty nuts.
That's
I'm
insane.
trying to get like sub hour 20 before I feel really satisfied.
Yeah. Kinasu said, "I love being the hat," and that's something that I think is pretty cool in co-op Odyssey. Is you get
Yeah.
to play as the hat and like help out and stuff like that. That's
You
pretty
know,
neat.
there's actually a category in Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning, the two-player category where
Really,
one person will control both players, and there's actually like a lot. If you're good at it, it's a lot more hard because you're controlling two different characters essentially, but like your movement options are a lot more expanded. Like you can get around a whole lot easier if you know how to do it. It's kind of
that's
crazy.
insane.
How to I wouldn't want to put the time in to learn that, but it's cool.
Dang, that's
Uh, since we're on the topic of speed runs, real fast, I'm
mhm.
gonna ask one quick thing. What's the thing that's annoyed you guys most about a speed run?
Annoyed me the most.
Yeah.
Um, I've never tried to do a speedrun personally. So I think that the most annoying thing for me about speedruns is when I'm watching somebody do it and they're getting noticeably frustrated at it and like the tilt is costing them their time, you know? Like, because at some point, I think that you hit a point where you just need to like do a mental reset and like maybe just start over from the beginning and call it good and like just get the clean slate. But instead, they just get angrier and angrier at like that one moment and they refuse to give up the run because maybe like an earlier part of the run had gone better. But like, I think when people don't recognize like how much of their mental state has been compromised by this current run, like I feel that stress. I'm very empathetic. So like when I see people struggling with stuff like that, it's the same reason I can only watch so much of like Pogo Stuck or Getting Over It because like I feel the strain on them. Like watching Devin do Pogo Stuck runs was like I like there were moments where I was just like pulling out my hair. I just couldn't do it. I ain't even
I
got that
just
much. Like and it was a struggle. So that's
love to
probably my
torture myself, dude.
yeah.
I don't know. I enjoy it. Like as much as I might seem visibly frustrated, there's like a piece of me that like loves the challenge of it all. I love it.
Yeah.
So I keep doing it. But yeah, no, I get it. I mean, on the same token, I think the most frustrating thing for me is is getting to a point where I just can't get past, or like I'm just there's a specifically in Mario, there's the I think my least favorite skip is probably the awning skip in Metro Kingdom Night,
Mhm.
where like, oh my god, dude, I can never do that first try, and that's probably the one that gets me the most frustrated. And sometimes it's like that where I'm like getting frustrated because I can't do it. But I know that if I just got past, because I always mess up on that part. So if I just get past it, then we're gonna be good after that, right? But
Mhm.
one day I'll get it first try.
I
What
think for me it would have to be the 5-4 crash.
what is that?
There's this specific door in 5-4,
In Resident Evil 4,
where
right?
yeah, in Resident
Okay.
Evil 4. There's a specific door in 5-4 where if you go through it, there's a pretty big chance your game's gonna crash.
What?
It's kind of
Wait.
burnt.
That's
You have
the
crash RNG.
yeah,
So on
that's
top of
the that's the bad freaking thing about the cat about Crapcom is the
Crap
porting they
comp.
do.
okay, so you could be having a perfect run, having already finessed your way through who knows whatever other RNG BS is out there, and you just happen to go through this door and your game crashes because it's a bad port.
Yep. I've seen world record runs get lost to it. Sakin and Yushi both had it. It was
Wow.
I
I
didn't
felt
know
so
that.
bad.
I've never
hmm
heard you talk about that before.
I have a clip of it, and I was so frustrated. I wanted to put my head through
I
my
would
monitor.
I would lose the rest of the hair on my head, dude.
It
I
was
would
a
bald.
it was a sub 130 pace, and I was so
Oh, that
sad.
is so frustrating.
My beard might fall off if that happened to me.
Yeah,
Honestly, I don't think
my
speedrunning's for
eyebrows.
me. I say yeah, just shave your eyebrows in solidarity with your game.
I would go full Britney and just bust out the razor.
full, oh, full
Mental
Britney.
breakdown.
Oh
Jeez.
man. So question for you guys: why did you switch over, and how long have you been playing on PC? So we talked about this a little bit. I know Shrimpy, you said 4 months ago. What was it that kind of compelled you to go from console to PC finally?
Streaming.
Streaming specifically.
It would
Okay.
be a lot more. I'm not saying it would be. It is a lot more, better than console in a variety of ways. You know, like you have your scenes. So I'm gonna throw Devin's as an example. His speedrun scene. He has his gameplay on the top. He's got his cam at the top right, and then he's got his live split right below his cam.
Hmm.
Like that's it. You can organize and be creative in so many different ways with your scenes. Um, and you can also alerts are a big part of it,
Hmm.
and a lot more interactivity, I could say, like stream raiders, marbles, or just like any other games, honestly, just a lot more interaction with your community.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. I think console streaming is really cool in the way that it like makes streaming accessible to so many people now.
Yeah.
But I think like you said, there's just so many more opportunities on PC. Like if you're it's the next level if you want to stream, I think.
Pretty
But
much.
yeah, I mean, yeah, there's I'm sure there's plenty of great people that make streaming work on console, but I think your job would be a whole lot easier if you just got a PC and
Yeah.
got, like you said, the scenes are cool. You can customize all that stuff, alerts, very pog, and then like yeah, interactivity just feels a whole lot easier. There's a lot more opportunity there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For me, I actually didn't switch over for streaming. I switched over to play more MMORPG games because they're not readily available on console. Aside from like, at least they weren't when I started playing MMO games. You know, like the time that I really put down the console and started playing PC was when World of Warcraft came out because I couldn't play World of Warcraft on my Nintendo GameCube. So like, I could you imagine on that weird controller?
Would be pog.
But
That would be.
but like I think that that was really when I made the transition. And for me, when I wanted to start streaming, I actually made the switch to console because consoles were cheaper than it would be to get a streaming PC at that point. And I
Yeah.
wasn't already into it. I didn't have all the information. I just knew that I could pick it up and select go live and go live. And and I think that like that ease of use is something that I kind of miss.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's very appealing and cool that you can get a machine that is capable of doing almost what we're doing right now, but like isn't nearly as expensive. There is a charm to that.
Yeah, most definitely. And like for a long time, I streamed exclusively on console. You know, like I said, I started out streaming on Xbox Smite during the beta. I had some extra beta codes that I gave away on my stream and that sort of thing, and it kind of gave me like a quick foothold into the streaming scene. And like a lot of my early following, that's what I got it from. Was
Yeah.
just people coming through for Smite. I was playing ranked at the time and stuff like that. But like there was a lot of things when I started streaming on console that I didn't realize were going to get so much easier on PC. As much as it's more complicated, you know, now that I have the information about streaming that I have, you know, like knowing that I want my mic audio to sound better, knowing that I want to set up my scenes, you know, to like, you know, have a starting soon scene and an ending scene and all this stuff, and like different scenes that I go to based on whether I want my cam or no cam or multiple cams, you know, like this setup that we have going right here. And I can do
Yeah.
all this stuff because I have a PC, but it's so much more complicated, you know?
But once you understand it, it's
Yeah.
like it's simple and it's far more effective. Like that I guess that's almost, coming back to the topic, I feel like that might be the PC in a nutshell, It's a little more complicated, but it's like a whole opened up world once you transition,
It's a lot more effective.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But similarly, there's a lot more that could go wrong too, you know?
True. Yeah.
Because when something gets messed up or there's a OBS update or something like that, and for some reason settings get reset or something like that is terrifying gamer moments for sure. Like it is stressful when stuff is not working how it's supposed to. And something that you said about having alerts being a big deal, Shrimpy, that stuck out to me because last night at the start of my Streamlabs OBS alerts weren't working. Like someone gave bits and I didn't hear the chime, and I was like, something's missing. Like what's going on right now? You know?
I think that was the thing being down because Oscar and I had the same issue yesterday. I got a raid and my alert didn't go off, which is odd.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you think it was just them having issues? Might have been what was going
It
on?
It was weird. I was
Streamlabs.
in the middle of trivia night and I was like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. Okay. At least now I know that it wasn't just my system. I was like, something is up with this right now. But it just felt so much more empty, you know? Like seeing it come up in the chat, but not having a notification or an image or anything like that go off, it feels so much worse. It
Let me
really
tell
does.
you, having to do that for the last I want to say a year was, or no, I would say less 8 months was pretty stressful.
Yeah.
It felt like empty, like you said. Like I couldn't I couldn't thank people enough, um, because like they couldn't get their own like specialized alert.
Yeah. And it's even more so when you go into other people's streams and you know that they have the alerts, and then you're comparing your stream to their stream, and it's like, oh, I just can't do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like it just feels so much
Yeah.
worse. Like you try not to do that, but it gets in your head. You know, it
Oh,
really
yeah.
does. It really does. And
I
like
used to do that all the time.
and something that I thought about today for the first time, I went into another friend's stream. His name's Arico, and he just like recently started like kicking off his stream a little bit. He's another Smite streamer, and I went in there, and he was surprised to see me in there and stuff like that. But like, um, he was like, "Yeah, I'm reading chat off of my phone," and I haven't had to do that in so long. But like, it immediately called me back to when I was streaming off of my Xbox and having to read chat off of my cell phone because I didn't want my game screen to be all like cut off to have the chat on the side or whatever, you know. And like having to not look down at your phone every second to see chat, and just being able to have like a second monitor or something like that, you know, goes so far as the difference it makes in streaming. You know, you miss so much
Yeah.
stuff when your text is like super tiny and you can't, you know, always look straight at it. It's not always in your field of view.
Can't get a
Yeah.
full view of those beautiful emotes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, and
I
there's so many quality of life things like that.
Oh yeah. I used when first time I tried streaming was in high school, and I for a little bit, I think probably like the first like 4 months or first 3 or 4 months, I only had one monitor,
Hmm.
so I would use like an iPad for chat, and I would just like post it up on the side of my desk.
Yeah,
That's a I feel like that's an experience almost every new streamer can relate to probably.
yeah, and I
Having
mean,
that cell phone chat, that mobile chat.
even people who get the PC, you know, usually it's a while before you get your second monitor. So I mean,
Yeah.
I remember before I got mine, I was still reading chat off of my phone
Yeah,
because I couldn't tab
exactly.
out every single time in game to go look at my chat. You know, like so you do
It
what you
was
can.
They have cool like extensions now, like that I've heard about. Like when I got back into streaming again, someone a while back told me there's like this extension you can get. It's almost like like the Discord overlay that goes over
Hmm.
your games and you can see it, but it's transparent. I guess they have something like that now where like you can put chat in like the corner of your screen, but it's like not actually interacting with your windows or anything. Like it's just there and you can see it and it's sort of transparent, but just enough to see. Like I thought that was pretty cool.
it's like that on the PS5 now. I was watching our buddy Chun,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
I was talking to him, and I was able to see the chat pop up on his screen through the PS5 software, and it looked a lot better than it did on PS4. I'll tell you that.
I
Yeah,
think the PS5's like new streaming, from what I've seen of it, like basically just from Chunt myself, like it looks a lot cleaner in my opinion than it did on PS4. It doesn't seem as intrusive.
yeah.
One better thing on PC, you can hide your viewer count.
Oh yeah, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, streaming on PS4 and seeing I'm not gonna say my average, but like knowing what I did average, and like seeing something like having like an off day,
Hmm.
seeing that was like, oh no, what could I be doing better? It was kind of demotivating, but now I can just hide my viewer count and not even have to worry about it.
Yeah, yeah. And when you're first starting out, that goes a long ways. You know, like some of the best advice that I've ever gotten is like stream like you're streaming to 1,000 people, even if you're not. You know,
Yeah.
like it's basically like if you build it, they will come type of thing. You know, it's not like it doesn't work the other way around. When you're trying to start something and get it off of the ground from the ground up, there's nobody who is going to come because you don't deserve it. You know, like you're not doing anything to encourage people to be in your stream. If you're not putting the content out there already that's worth watching, why are people going to watch? They're not going to watch you first because they can watch anybody. There's so many other entertaining people on the platform. If you're not putting out that content that you're comfortable with, that you're confident in, what's the point? You know? And hiding the viewer count goes a long way for that for sure. Like numbers can definitely be like hard on the mental state. Something else that I wanted to call back to, that I wanted to say this before I forgot about it, is back when I was streaming on console, they didn't used to have the follower notification pop up in chat or whatever. I don't know if follower notifications pop up in chat nowadays, or like they didn't have the creator
You got to
dashboard that
set
you
up a
could.
bot for it,
Yeah,
I think.
they
Yeah.
didn't have a creator dashboard that you could look at on your phone to see recent followers or anything like that. So I had to look at my email to see when people followed when I was streaming on console. And like sometimes I would just miss the email or I would get delayed, so I'd thank people when I could. But I mean, this was like at the very start of console streaming, so it was definitely a time. And Lady Bisky, she's in chat right now, but she's the VTuber who I was talking about, and she says you can't even VTube on console. And yeah, and she said sometimes even with a second monitor, it can get a little bit like crowded sometimes, and I'm starting to realize that
I
too.
low key feel that. Yeah, honestly, I relate.
But
It's a lot of
similarly,
stuff to have up.
I don't want a third monitor. I'm already
Yeah,
like
neither
out
do
of
I.
space on my desk.
Me
I do
too.
Yeah,
not
I don't have
want
enough space,
That's why I
dude.
haven't done it yet. I don't. There's not enough room here. I'm making do with what I got. You know.
pretty much. Yeah, it's rough, dude. It's rough. Ranspree said, numbers can also make you turn off your entertainer brain. If the numbers aren't there, you can think, I don't need to be entertaining because nobody is here. And then when someone does show up, you're not doing anything. Yeah. And I mean the viewer count, like it's awful. It updates so slowly anyways. Like they'll be there and gone before you even realize they were in there.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough. It really is.
You know, I always turn my numbers off because like I just I don't want to look at that. You know, for the
Yeah.
same reason anyone else would. But like even when I do, my thought process is like if I see a number that might be like lower than I want it to be, I'm just like. But the way I've always thought about it is like I'm gonna stream and be here and always be acting like I'm making a YouTube video. And then like
Yeah.
worst case scenario, the way I like rationalize it is like, okay, maybe people aren't here right now, but I could always turn this into a video and put that on my YouTube channel and then like, you know, and then people will see that. That's I try to just make it always feel like it's worth something, even if I'm like kind of beating myself up. I try not to do that though.
Yeah. And I mean, something that I've been realizing is like I've had to recognize like where my cutoff point is as far as like starting to get worn out because I stream for a pretty long time. Right now, like I'm streaming for 6 hours a day when I stream, except for on podcast days. So I'll go from 9 p.m. until 3 a.m. is my scheduled time. But if the stream's going good, I'll just push it and keep going. You know,
Yeah.
like if I've got enough people in there, I'm like, hey, screw it, let's do this. You know, it's working for us right now, so let's capitalize on the opportunity and do it because why not? You know, we're trying to build something here. That's what you do when you're working hard for it. And I'm like, but at some point, you know, when I start to hit like near the 8 hour mark, I can just feel my energy just like getting lower. You know, I can feel myself starting to hit the point where I'm like, I am not having a whole lot of fun. I'm not being super entertaining. I'm starting to just like zone out while I'm playing. Like I'm staring at my screen, but I'm staring through my screen. You know what I mean? Like that type of vibe where I'm not even actually like aware of what's happening. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be my last one. You know, and then I stop there.
Yeah.
And
there's nothing wrong with that either. Like that's
yeah.
one of the blessed parts about streaming is like you can go as long as you want, go just cut it off whenever you want. Like as long as you're delivering what you came there to deliver, then thumbs up, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And Lady Bisky said it's hard not to, even when I get rated and you watch the numbers, and if you're exhausted, but you feel like you need to keep going, and sometimes you have to force yourself off. Yeah, like that is one thing that's like top 10 like feels bad streamer moments is when you raid somebody who's about to end and you can tell they're tired. I was like,
They're all, oh god,
Yeah.
another hour.
I did that to a guy the other day, and his name's Flippin. I think it's Flippin07 on Twitch, and he's another Smite streamer, and he's actually like such a cool dude and a great streamer, and like I really liked watching his channel. But it was like legit 5 in the morning for him, or like 6 in the morning for him when I raided him. Like the sun was starting to come up, and he was about to end, and he went ahead and played for a little bit longer because of the raid, and I felt so bad. Like he was still having a fun time with it, and he was so entertaining to watch, but I just felt so bad because I was like, oh my man needs some sleep. I'm sure he's got work today or something. It's a feels bad moment, but I get the vibe. I get it. You know?
Sometimes you gotta push onwards.
So what are some of the best things that you experienced about streaming on console and some of the worst, if you want to share those too? We'll start with you on this one, Shrimp.
Best things and worst things. Worst, I would say stream delay. Specifically when I play a very, very aggressive shooter on console, like Warzone. Warzone. So on the PS4, there's a bug where if you hit your home button and go to your home screen to like invite somebody or something, your stream and audio are gonna be unsynced.
Yeah.
until you restart your stream. And that's something that's really like lame is because you can't fix it like you can in OBS now.
Yeah.
Like you can just add your own delay to it, and it was one of those annoying things 'cause it's like it can scare off viewers thinking like, oh, okay, they ended stream, they're not gonna come back live.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was kind of suck. It kind of sucks in that aspect. So that's probably one of the worst things. I guess another bad thing would be when you're in the home screen again. You see
Oh.
that little happy face, that little block happy face, like swirling up and down. I think is just annoying.
Yeah, it just shows like
Um,
nothing for the viewers because they can't see your home
yeah,
screen or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, like you can't see what I'm doing. I mean, I get it. In case you have like people real name requests and you don't want to dox them or
Yeah.
like they don't want to see how you have set up because like your name and stuff too.
Yeah.
Um, I guess that's probably the only two worst things I have, but probably something for the best would be like how you said, Vince, the easiness of it. You can just hit the
Mhm.
go live button and you're live rather than having to configure a bunch of settings.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
You wouldn't have to really worry about an upload speed on console, I feel like.
Yeah, I think all of it's handled in the background for you. Like it pretty much like predetermines what your best settings are and stuff like that, and then you just kind of go live and you're done.
Yep.
And it's mission accomplished. All you have to do is click that little share button on your PlayStation 4, and you're good to go. Just go live, and you're done. What about you, Devin? What do you? I mean, did you since you ever streamed on console, right? You never once did it.
Nah,
Is there anything about console streaming that appeals to you more than PC?
no.
When you
No.
think about console streaming, what's the worst part of it for you?
Uh, I really like utilizing like my scenes and all of the stuff that I have. So
Yeah.
that just sounds like a really like crippling thing for me. Like I like being able to cue my sounds and stream my music and change my scenes and do my zoom ins. Like I that just I'd never go back. I'm
A
sorry.
lot less creativity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of stuff that you can't do on console for sure. I've got a couple of answers for both sides of this one. I think that like probably the worst thing about console streaming is obviously like you said the lack of ability to customize your stream and make it your own. You know,
Yeah.
you said you like to do all the stuff with utilizing your resources in your streams and things like that, or your scenes, not your streams.
My
Doing
polls.
polls, transitions,
Oh.
everything like that. It's a lot of fun. Um, but like not being able to balance your audio easily on console is
Yeah,
so
that's
rough. Like,
because it's already terrible. Like audio stuff is already kind of a pain in the butt. So like when you just can't mess with it, it's so frustrating.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the first thing I do when I go into someone's stream and they're streaming from console. Yeah, like, and I can tell that it's imbalanced. Like that, like their game audio is clearly louder than their mic audio, that sort of thing. I'm like, hey, just a heads up. Like your streams, you can do what you want to do, but I can't hear your mic too well, so you may want to turn it down. Like I always phrase it as friendly as possible because I'm not trying to go in there and be like a dick or a know-it-all or anything like that. I'm just like, hey, just a heads up. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear you responding to my messages and talking to me and stuff like that. And I like to think that the other people who come in do too. So
Yeah.
I do my best to like tell people that it's like telling someone they got something stuck in their teeth. It's a courtesy thing. You know what I mean? But that's so hard to be able to do on your own because you can't just do a local recording of the gameplay and your voice and then listen to the video back. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can't tell how it's going to sound on Twitch. Basically, you have to like do gameplay, and like practice shooting your gun and stuff like that if you're playing a shooter. Take your
Turn your
headset
phone
off,
up.
turn on your phone volume real quick,
Yeah.
so you're not like hearing the echo of your phone too and stuff like that. And it's like it's just such a hassle trying to balance audio on console streams because you can't just like touch a slider on OBS and drag it down.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's the worst. It's so bad trying to do it. And then I think the best thing and one of the most underrated features of streaming on console is, and we've discussed this on the stream before, but like being able to be on that like curated list of console streamers that the like Xbox and PlayStation Twitch channels have. Like the Twitch on PlayStation has a section that's just live from PlayStation. And it's just a whole bunch
Yeah.
of people that are currently streaming games specifically from their consoles on the console platform, playing console games, and you can immediately see other people that you easily relate to. So you have a chance to get recognized playing games like Call of Duty, like Apex Legends, like FIFA, games that already have a ton of people in the directory that would be super hard to get recognized playing on PC because you're part of this curated list. And if you can get a few viewers in there, like even more of a chance that you're showing up high on those lists. And I think that's something that's really underrated for consoles specifically is discoverability. And when you go live on console, it shows people on your friends list, hey, they're live. And I mean that's a feature on Discord, but not many people are scrolling through a Discord of 200 channels looking for people at the bottom of the like Discord thing for someone to be purple, and that's assuming that you knew well enough to link your Discord to your Twitch.
Yep.
It's just discoverability on console is just better, and that's the bottom line.
I agree.
So but even still, if what they discover is your channel with horribly balanced audio, then whether or not they stay
right?
is 50-50. It depends on what they're there for. So are you more comfortable on controller or keyboard and mouse? We discussed this a little bit already, but we'll start with you on this one, Devin. Where do you feel the most at home since you play both?
I think it depends. Like I said, like if I'm aiming, shooting, anything that requires precise like directional movement with a camera, I feel like I have to be on a mouse. But like if I'm playing a more atmospheric or just chill or driving game, then I actually really like controllers. I
Nice.
feel more tuned for gaming. I feel like keyboard and mouse has like a lot more options and stuff, and if you're more comfortable with it, then c'est la vie. But it's super nice to just have a controller in my hand instead of being like all leaned up at my desk. I can just throw my chair back, and like just have a controller. I like that chill feeling.
Absolutely. What about you, Shrimpy?
Depends on the game, like how Devin said. There's not a lot of games that I've played that I don't use a controller with. I mean, I play all my RE games with a controller. It's just how I grew up. Warzone, I still only play that on PS4 because my PC can't handle it.
Yeah, it's terribly
Um,
optimized.
yeah, right. But there's Warzone, there's the RE games I play on controller. Um, that's really about it. I mean, other than that, I use keyboard and mouse for obviously Osu, Valorant. God, I have to look at my Steam list for this.
No, you're good. No worries. I mean, we don't have to get that in depth into it. It's just the
Yeah.
question is just generally,
Yeah, no,
which one are you more comfortable on? Like,
honestly, it's a balance.
yeah, and I think that's more true for most people who have made the switch as recently as you have. Because it's been 4 months now, and you've been kind of forcing yourself to learn on keyboard and mouse for Valorant purposes and things like that. Obviously, shooters like that, you kind of have to. But I know quite a few people who like with Smite specifically, because like the controls are a little bit more forgiving. In Smite, I think even in like ranked Smite as opposed to like casual. Like Valorant, the controls are immediately unforgiving if you're playing on controller versus PC. You just will not be as accurate. Like period. You can't
Play
be.
on a drawing tablet.
Yeah, you can't be as accurate on controller as you can on keyboard and mouse.
You can't even use the shoot button. You can only use your moving. You can only move with it.
That's crazy. That's
It's weird that people do that. They use their their controller to move and their mouse to shoot. I don't get it.
yeah. That's actually a trip. That's really weird. I had no idea
Weird.
people did that.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's actually like some Donkey Kong bongo type
Yeah.
movement. I don't why. That makes my brain hurt.
Same. I don't even think I could do that. Like it would feel weird to me to have to do that. But like for me personally, I would say I'm comfortable with both in different scenarios as well. I think if you have the option to do both, it's good to do both. If I had to pick one or the other, I'm definitely more comfortable on mouse and keyboard. Because I can play racing games on my computer. I prefer not to. I can play third-person action games on my computer with keyboard and mouse. I prefer not to. I would rather use a controller for those, but I can do it. If you ask me to play an FPS on controller, I will miss everybody. Like it's not even disputable. Like I can't aim anymore. I stopped playing Horizon
Apex?
Zero Dawn, even Apex. Can't do the movement on controller. And I stopped playing Horizon Zero Dawn because I couldn't use the bow properly. I was having such a hard time that I had to stop playing it on my PlayStation, and the story wasn't gripping me enough to warrant continuing to play it because I legitimately couldn't shoot things properly with a controller using the bow.
Just go full spear.
Yeah, but at the same time, I wanted to use the bow because it was awesome. You have to like
was really
point to
cool.
shoot traps and stuff like that, and like there's so much of the game that's just limited if you can't use the bow. And I was like, there's no way I can do this. And the other day, I was actually playing a game called Pummel Party. Have you guys played this yet?
Oh yeah.
I haven't played
I
it,
haven't
but I heard
played
of
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's ridiculously fun, but there's mini games, and like I found myself switching over to keyboard and mouse for certain mini games and using the controller for other mini games. There's one where you like drive a little car around a house. I use the controller for that one. There's another one where you
Yeah.
fly a plane around and you dogfight. Controller game for sure. But there was one game where it was like you had to do precise movements and like jump over stuff and keyboard and mouse the whole way for that one. You know, like anytime I need precise movement and I need to know that my character's stopping right now. You know,
Yeah.
I'm keyboard and mouse. I'm not gonna risk just slightly tilting my controller joystick forward a little bit or something like that. I know when I lift off the W key, I stop moving.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Was it hard for you transitioning from controller to keyboard and mouse? Either one of you.
Sniper,
It doesn't
you wanna
matter.
go first?
Say, take your
Sure.
pick.
Yes. Yes. It was terrible. Aiming with this beast, it's like
Yeah.
how are you like having to do flicks or like having to quickly like turn and do stuff, like how do you not like lose control of your mouse like that?
Yeah.
You know? It's mind numbing at first, but I mean over time and muscle memory, you'll get it 100%. It's a lot better than controller in my opinion, but there's some games where I still can't I'm still can't let go of that controller.
I get that. I
Be
get
like,
that.
yeah. I
What about you, Devin?
I don't. Like I started playing on a computer at like such a young age. Like I feel like I got into console gaming probably around the same time I got into like playing on a PC at my grandma's house. So like and it never felt like a uncomfortable transition. It just felt like something I always was just comfortable with. And there was a
Mhm.
little phase where like I was on a laptop for a little bit, so like going from using a trackpad to a mouse was just like an upgrade if anything. Like it just
Yeah.
made everything easier. So it wasn't I don't know, not for me. I could understand how it could be difficult, but it never felt too hard for me, honestly.
That makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. For me personally, I actually transitioned from mouse and keyboard to controller. Um, Not the other way around, because that was
That's
where I
unique. I feel
started
like you don't hear
my
that.
yeah, that's where I
Yeah,
started my streaming journey, was on console actually. And swapping over from mouse and keyboard to being on console was definitely challenging. Like I remember playing Smite specifically because that's a game that I actually played on PC first as well. Like trying to learn how to do it on a controller. Like, and I've touched on this a little bit before, but legit every single character that I played, I was like, let's get the character with the biggest, largest area of effect abilities that I can find.
smart.
So that way, I don't have to be too precise, and I can just be kind of in the general vicinity with most of this. And I never played ADC, which is like the carry role. Hunters, they pretty much all revolve around landing auto attacks. So you're
Yeah.
landing precise shots, and one at a time shots. I was playing mages, so I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't ever have to worry about aiming at people too properly. I just had to be in the general area with a large circle. And as long as I had the large circle, it was good to go.
Yeah.
Over time I got better and I got more practice at it, and it was a lot more fun. But like going back to PC from console, it felt so natural, because I never really stopped
Right.
playing the MMO games or anything like that. I always had a computer, even though it wasn't as good. And like, PC felt really natural for me. But one of the hardest things I think about coming back was when I really started getting onto shooters on PC and turning down my sensitivity. That
Yeah.
was probably the hardest thing for me to learn. Was like you don't want to do this because you're so used to having the high sense. And the first time that you go to move your mouse, even across your desktop when you turn down your DPI, it feels terrible.
You're just
It
Yeah.
feels so
picking
bad.
that thing up over and over again. Like
Yeah.
I God, when I played Siege for the first, my Siege sense used to be like 60, 75
Yeah.
on console, but like now it's like 8, 10.
Mm-hmm.
because it's like its movements are a lot more precise, and it's all dependent on your DPI and your sense. So rather than just the flick of a joystick.
Yeah. Do you know your Valorant sensitivity off the top of your head by chance? Either one of you?
0.5, 800 DPI.
At 800? Do you know yours, Devin?
I don't know mine, but I am at 800 DPI.
Oh, okay.
I think.
I play
I think I'm
Valorant.
somewhere around your sniper.
I'm at 0.37 at 800 DPI. And that's the same across all my games. 1.2 on Apex, and I think it might be 0.33. Might be 0.33, not 0.37, because it's 0.33 for Call of Duty. I don't know if they share, but it's somewhere around there. But I play on really like a lot lower sensitivity than most people. But like I did a lot of research when I was playing PUBG, ironically. That was where I really wanted to figure it out and nail down where I wanted my mouse sensitivity, because I was watching people like Shroud and stuff like that. And I lowered all of my sensitivity and made it the same across every game that I play, just for consistency purposes. And I put it pretty much where he had his, I think. And that's about as low as where he was playing at the time when he was playing PUBG. I don't know what he plays on now, but like I was definitely one of those people that I was like, oh, if I just lower my sensitivity, I'll be Shroud. And clearly that worked. Clearly.
Vince is honestly cracked though, guys. Don't let him
Yeah,
fool you.
honestly, yeah.
He's
Okay.
pretty saucy at Valorant.
He
Okay.
gets the sick one taps, dude.
Even being good though, I'm nowhere close to Shroud. That's the point. Like changing your sensitivity will not make you be one of them. That's what I'm saying.
You haven't streamed Apex in a long time, have you?
No.
Oh, you guys are in for a treat if he ever decides to do that again.
But I
kills it.
I did finally get my 4,000 damage badge though on Apex last week.
Yeah, there you go.
So
see,
that's
he's crazy. I started watching Vince when he was playing like exclusively Apex, and that's like what enthralled me so much. I was like, not only does this guy have a banging personality and face, but also he's accurate AF.
Yeah, I did my best. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What's up?
Delicious man ears.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
So I think my sensitivity is 0.47, by the way. I think I just remembered it.
For Valorant?
Yeah, for Valorant.
Yeah, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. 0.47 is good. The main thing is 800 DPI, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
and for anybody who is making the transition to PC or currently plays on PC and plays on higher than 800 DPI, the reason is if you have it any higher than that, something that your mouse can do is basically as you're dragging it across your screen, like what happens is like if you have your DPI too high, it's dots per inch, I think is the correct like, you know, extended terminology there. If you have it too high, it skips to try to compensate for how far you're moving your mouse in inches. So if you have it at like 3,200 DPI or something like that, which some mice go up to like 16,000 DPI because they're like, oh, it's a feature, but it's dumb because you should literally never use that. Basically, your mouse can skip across your screen when you're trying to aim. So you'll think you're aiming to the left of someone's head, so you go to move to the right. But if you have it at too high of DPI, it skips over their head because you can't smoothly aim across.
Yeah.
Similar with polling rate. So
I went into my SteelSeries engine software a couple days ago to go for max DPI, just to meme, and that's as much as I did right there. I don't know if you saw it, and it flipped across both my monitors.
You just touched the button to adjust your sensitivity?
No. It's software.
I have a DPI button I can press, and it'll,
same.
I can make mine go flying. Like I just turned it up to 16,000.
And it just like zooms across your screen. It's crazy.
Pew, pew, pew. Yeah, why is that even an option, dude? What do people do with this? I
have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. It's literally an option so that they can put something on the box that's a really high number to try to trick people into buying it. That's it. It is a marketing tactic and nothing else.
Vu. I feel like we talked about this before.
Yeah, we have. But like,
yeah,
when you go into the store and you see one mouse that says up to 8,000 DPI and you see another mouse that says up to 16,000 DPI and you've never had anyone tell you better, you look at the bigger number and go, oh, obviously bigger numbers. Let's get that one.
Big number.
You know, and then you crank that bad boy all the way up because that's what you do when you get a new toy. You know, you want to use it to the fullest extent that you can. And then you're out here like a dummy using your mouse at 16,000 DPI, unable to like actually click on anything for your whole life.
Yeah, I mean,
tough, dude. It's tough.
The only time I ever turn my DPI that high is if I just want to like spin around in circles really fast to like make people laugh or something like that.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all it's good for.
Reinhardt mains. If you're an Overwatch player,
See, now I know we've talked about this before because I remember this.
Yep. Yep, that's
We
the
like
meme.
just said the same thing.
That's the meme. 16,000 DPI for marketing or Reinhardt mains, either
Yep.
one. So, do you have any advice for anybody who's looking to make the switch from console to PC for gaming purpose first, specifically? Only gaming, not streaming. We'll do streaming next. Do you have any advice? Yeah, go ahead, Devin.
For gaming, I mean, just play games. There's only one way to get used to the controls if that's like a learning curve for you. Um, and I guess enjoy the freedom that the PC gives. It's a lot more to take in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Utilize Google a lot. That's
Google and
the
YouTube.
best friend. You can pretty much learn how to do anything using Google. So don't forget about it.
What about you, Shrimpy? You have any advice for anyone looking to switch over?
I would just say take your time. Take your time. It's a learning curve. Over time, you'll develop muscle memory for it. There you go.
Yeah.
And Devin said use Google. I gotta sneeze.
Go ahead. You good?
Bless you.
No worries. Bless you, dude. For me, like specifically for gaming purposes, it kind of depends on what you want to play. Definitely a lot of patience is required. Make sure that you don't set your DPI anywhere above 1500 for sure. You know, like I think that you have to make that change as soon as possible. If you can, set it down to 800, but if you have to, 1500 is, I would say even 1200 would probably be the highest I'd go. And then another bit of advice is if you're looking to play shooting games on PC specifically, if you're trying to get into Rainbow Six or Counter-Strike, Apex, anything like that, aim trainers. Whether you're using Aim Hero, Kovacs, Aim Lab, which is free. I mean, we're not sponsored, but like aim trainers just to help you get used to moving your mouse around and clicking on things on your screen, even if you're playing Osu or something like that. Like things like that go such a long way. It's just as far as getting used to the movement, you know, because it really just boils it down to there's no stress in this environment. It's just you clicking on things on your screen, and it translates well.
I think Osu is a lot more fun than just doing an aim lab, though. Honestly, that's a little thing. I downloaded Osu like 2 days ago, and I've been memeing with Devin like play 10 minutes of Osu before you hop on Valorant or a shooter, and you're good. You'll click heads easy.
Yeah, because I'm cracked at Osu, but I suck at shooters.
That's funny. That's actually big funny.
A curse.
But I figured the sensitivity would have to be the same across both for it to translate well, but I don't know how that works in Osu. Kinasu asked, do you have any games that you're specifically attached to or connected to the console? Like you'll advocate that game for any console only just because you have that attachment?
An easy one.
Go for it.
Persona 5.
Yeah.
I pretty much, that's probably like the only game I've like seriously played on my PlayStation. Well, that's a lie. Probably like The Last of Us 2 and Persona 5.
Yeah.
That's like the only reason I ever get on my PS4, like exclusives, but I'm really attached to that game. If you didn't know, that was kind of the channel theme for a while.
Yeah.
Devin still is.
Devin Kronk's name used to be the Ordinary Joker.
Yeah.
In reference to Persona 5.
I have a mask like right
for you viewers
here.
Yep.
Back there, right behind the little lamb.
Mm-hmm. Just pointing behind him, behind his little
love that game.
Yeah.
What
about you, Shrimpy?
God, God, this is hard. I'm gonna go basic here and just say Resident Evil HD remake.
Just because you had that on console?
I have it on both. I haven't played it on Steam yet, but I'm sure it's just the same because it's just the remake. But
yeah,
only faster because obviously PC. But I never beat it. You know, I never even got past the first 30 minutes of the game. If I'm being honest, I'm stuck. God, where am I stuck at? I can't even remember. But that game, Puzzle Simulator, it's tough.
Yeah.
Puzzle Sim.
Yeah. For me, like as far as attachment to a console specifically, I think Sony exclusives before they started coming to PC. I mean, we got Horizon coming to PC, we got Days Gone coming to PC. You know, like things like that though. Like God of War, the most recent God of War, and even the God of War games before that. You know, like stick out fondly in my memory. Kingdom Hearts is finally on PC, but before that, like Kingdom Hearts would have been the game that was like my console attachment for sure. You know.
I didn't know you liked Kingdom Hearts.
I love Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I eat it up. It's terribly convoluted and a mess, and I can't get enough of it.
I love Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
we bond over this.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I grew up with it though, you know. So like,
Me too. on the PS2. That was like one of my first games I played.
Yeah, I'm surprised that we never have talked about this. Honestly,
Yeah.
apparently, Shoria didn't know that we like Kingdom Hearts either. That's a trip. But like, yeah, Kingdom Hearts games like had such a fond place in my heart in my childhood, and I have the collection on console. I have Kingdom Hearts 3 on PlayStation 4 as well, and I still haven't bought the PC version yet. So I would say if there's one game that like has my attachment to consoles, it's probably Kingdom Hearts. And then aside from that, I mean, just the Nintendo library, you know.
Yes.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's Smash Bros. It's, you know,
I'm a
any of the
just
Mario games, Mario Kart, um, Pokemon, things like that. Like, it's it's impossible to like recreate that feeling of nostalgia that you get when you upload the newest Zelda game, or sorry, or when you load up the newest Zelda game. It really is. You know, like for me, I've played so many games, and the only thing that's even come close to like that hit that I get when I just load into whatever version of Hyrule I'm going to be in currently, would have been like playing World of Warcraft on PC, or World of
expansion.
Warcraft Classic on PC.
Oh yeah.
You know, like going back into that for the first time. I know she was asking specifically for console, but like loading into World of Warcraft Classic for the first time on PC after not being able to play it for so long. Like, and we talked about this a little bit on the MMORPG episode, but like the World of Warcraft Classic, so many people asked for it for so long, and people were like clamoring for it and stuff like that. And Blizzard finally made it happen, and getting to load in. And I made a dwarf hunter just like I did the first time back in 2009 when the game came out, and I was 10 years old. And I was making a character because my dad finally let me after he was done playing, and loading in and hearing that intro music and seeing like the camera pan out over the snow and everything like that. I almost cried, man. I am not even kidding. Like it was emotional, dude. Like and just like having that kind of attachment to games is just like it's crazy. But yeah, so it would have to
It's
be
not
like
that crazy.
it'd have to be
There's a lot
Kingdom
of
Hearts and Nintendo games, and then World of Warcraft would be the thing that like has me on PC no matter what. So
I didn't even I didn't even think about Nintendo. That's actually probably what my answer would be. I changed my mind. Like I'm I am Nintendo slave.
yeah. And I mean, strangely enough, I think that a lot of people feel that like with Nintendo for Monster Hunter specifically, because for so long it wasn't anywhere else. You know, it was like
Yeah.
that was the place to get Monster Hunter until Monster Hunter World came out finally.
And now it's
But
well, they plan on releasing it on PC, right? The Rise
yeah,
eventually.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
there was reports that they were planning on doing it either later this year or next year. Um,
Ah. So I was gonna say maybe it's going back to exclusive again, but we heard rumors about that if I remember correctly.
yeah, next year most likely. Thank you, Shoria.
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you.
Kinasu said Wii Sports, baby. That's funny. Yeah. Well, ironically enough, I think that Wii Sports was a lot of people's intro into gaming. Surprisingly
That's
enough, I think a lot
the
of people got their start there.
it's because the Wii was everywhere. Like it that console took over homes, man.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed with Wii Sports. Like I had already been gaming, but like even I got sucked into the whole like motion control, just
Hit
feeling like you're
different.
playing some sport. Yeah, it's cool. It was different for sure. The Wii was innovative.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys ever get your golden ball for bowling or
Oh yeah.
anything like
Yeah,
that? Okay,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I say I can't remember. Did you have golden boxing gloves too? Was that a thing you could unlock
No.
as well?
Bro, you think I was able to beat Matt in Wii Box? I was getting slammed. Man was putting me in the dirt. I was breaking sweat after
He said beat
after
Matt.
yeah,
Oh no,
it was
Damn it, Matt.
terrible.
that's funny stuff, dude. So, do you guys have any advice for people looking to make the switch from console streaming to PC streaming specifically?
There's a lot more creativity. Uh, be sure to also make sure you balance out your settings.
Yeah.
A lot. Um, balance out your settings and creative use your creativity to your fullest extent to
Hmm.
make your stream look that much more better.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't be afraid to tool around with stuff and experiment a little bit and see everything you can do for sure. That's some
Yeah.
solid advice right there. What about you, Devin? You got anything for people who are looking to make the transition over?
Yeah, just I think adding on to like what Sniper said, and also touching back on what we talked about earlier, since console streaming doesn't have an opportunity for you to like fine tune things before you actually go live, just make sure you utilize that opportunity. It's there now. You could just record and listen to yourself or stream on another account or something and like figure all your stuff out. You got time, opportunity. It's great. And then, utilize that creativity.
Yeah,
Cool.
excellent. One thing that I want to touch on for sure that you mentioned in there is recording yourself. Now that you
Yeah.
can do it, do it. Like before you go
Yeah.
live, do test recordings. Do test recordings while you're actually playing the game so that you can hear how it's going to sound. Just talk like you would talk to a stream and then listen for it over the gameplay and then balance it out and do another recording and balance it out again, do another recording.
Or playing music, throw the music in there, see what that sounds like on it.
Yeah.
Anything.
Another piece of advice, OBS is by far the most popular broadcasting software that you can use, whether it's OBS Studio or Streamlabs OBS. And I would encourage people, if you have a computer or you're getting a computer that isn't as strong, stay away from Streamlabs OBS because it is pretty resource hungry. And if you have the know-how and you're not like super, technology challenged, I'll say, because there are a fair amount of people who want to stream but have a hard time with tech because they're not, just super used to the platform yet. Go with OBS Studio and set up Stream Elements instead of going Streamlabs. I think that Stream Elements is a much better program personally. I still use Streamlabs OBS, but I'm planning on making the transition here soon over to Stream Elements instead, which for those of you who aren't familiar, it's another program that you can use to do your notifications and all that stuff, and I like alerts and things as they go off. So I would for sure use that with Studio OBS because it's a lot less intensive on your machine. So if you're someone who's looking to make that change, just something that'll help you long term, even though it's easier to just turn on Streamlabs OBS, link your Twitch, and have everything here, and get the free overlays and stuff, and it'll set up all your scenes for you and all that. Like long term, it's going to go a lot farther for you to use OBS instead.
Vince,
And
whenever
take time on your settings too.
Yeah.
There's real like fine tuny stuff that can like really make a difference in a positive or negative way.
Yeah.
Specifically things like bit rate and all that. Make sure Google, once again, always utilize Google.
Yeah.
Or ask a friend. Or email us. Email us. gamingtonic1@gmail.com.
Yep. Feel free to ask. We'd love to answer your questions. What were we gonna ask, Shrimpy?
So when you make the switch, you can actually transfer all your scenes right away, so you don't have to remake them. Also, run OBS as an administrator.
Yes.
Because it's your game, OBS goes on top when you run it as administrator. So your stream's more prioritized over your game.
You can also in Task Manager, I think you can set priority on Streamlabs. That way you don't have to or whatever you're using. And then you don't have to run as an admin every time. But whatever works. I mean, as long as it's prioritized.
Yeah, most certainly. So Norse Wolf, you said, hate to contradict you, but Streamlabs is actually more performance friendly on your CPU. OBS Studio is harder on your CPU. I mean, I guess that's something I'll have to research more personally, but I've never heard that from any source that I've talked to personally.
Yeah.
Like every other person that I've talked to has said the opposite, but like just a quick Google search here, and I mean obviously I can't broadcast my stream or my screen at the moment, but one of the cons that's listed here about Streamlabs OBS is more CPU usage. So,
see what I mean?
At least according to the quick Google search, that's for sure something that I'll research more this week. And if I'm wrong about that, I will absolutely get back and correct it next week for sure.
Well, you'd be surprised how much a quick Google search can do, guys.
Yeah.
Telling you, best piece of advice on PC: use Google. So good.
Yeah, and
Google's
this is
insane, actually crazy.
If you're looking for the specific link that I'm looking at, it's just a comparison on Restream.io. So that's where that's at. But like personal experience, OBS is a lot more lightweight than Streamlabs OBS, for me personally. But so, is there any other advice that you guys want to give for anybody who's looking to make the transition from console to PC, though?
That's about all I got.
I think we touched all the important bases there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've given some people some cool advice, given a little bit of neat perspective for people who've both played console and played PC and experienced things like that, and gone through both, and like gone
Yeah.
from one to the other, back to the other. In my case, because I've
Yep.
I've done both. I've streamed on both platforms, and I've experienced a lot of things. But I think that this was a pretty cool episode, and we were glad to have you on here, Shrimpy. Got to talk about speedrunning a little bit of Resident Evil dabbled in there as well. Talk about
Touched
your
on a lot
streaming
of fun
journey and
things.
stuff like that. Like I think
Yeah,
this has been cool.
that was
I
a
feel
cool
good
one.
about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
enjoyed
lot
this.
of fun to be on here.
Great conversations.
So
Me and allergies. Oh,
yeah,
Bless
dude,
you.
allergies been killing me this season too. It's been really really rough.
I know. I have to keep like ducking down to like wipe my nose, dude.
Yeah. So
Pick it, bro.
real quick, for anyone who doesn't know where to find you, not Shrimpy, where can they find you at? Before we take questions from everybody.
Find me on twitch.tv/notshrimpy, twitter.com/notshrimpy, and tiktok.com/notshrimpy. Everything. If you see my Twitch underneath my name, everything's the exact same as how it's spelled on my Twitch bio.
Awesome. Perfect. What about you, Devin? For anyone who wants to find you and more of your content, where can they find you at?
You can find me at twitch.tv/DevinCronk, just as it's spelled below here. I stream every weekday at 4:00 p.m. Pacific time. And then there's also my Twitter down there. You can look that handle up in my bio. There's a link tree, and then that has all my stuff on it. But those are the two big ones right there, Twitch and Twitter.
Yeah.
How about you, Vince?
You can find me at twitch.tv/justvince, the channel you're watching the podcast on, or at Vince0094 on Twitter, or Twitch Just Vince on TikTok. And then it's Just Vince on YouTube, but there's apparently a couple of Just Vinces on YouTube, so make sure it's the right one. I think also, just so we can get into the questions and like chat stuff real quick, I think Norse Wolf was actually saying the same thing. I don't know if I misspoke when I was explaining it or not, but he's actually saying the same thing that we were trying to say from what I read of what he gathered. He said he didn't like the CPU usage, so he used OBS Studio, and that's what we were trying to say, was that Studio is less intensive. Streamlabs is more like ease of use, easy to set up.
Yeah.
It looks nice, but it'll be really taxing on your machine. I think he's saying the same thing we were trying to say. Yeah, just completely a misunderstanding. So that's my bad if I misspoke. Also, Rico said, what kind of specs are you guys sitting around? For me personally, I've got a Ryzen 2700X CPU, 16 gigabytes of 3200 megahertz speed RAM, a 1 terabyte SSD, a 750 watt gold power supply, and an RTX 2080 in my machine. That's I knew my specs off the top of my head, so that's not too bad on that one.
I don't know my specs. I'm sorry.
I got a Ryzen 3 3100 RX 570, 8 gigs of RAM at 2400 speed, 2 terabyte Seagate Barracuda, and that's about it. I got a Pro VD HP B550.
What about you, Devin?
It runs. I mean,
my man has a computer. He got a keyboard and mouse plugged into it, and he's got screens, perhaps.
Can't forget about the monitor.
Yeah,
two of them.
Yep, two monitors. Two monitors. There we go.
Camera,
download more.
mic.
How do he said? How do people
Google
remember
that
the
before
specs
you
so
do it.
easily? For me, I've had people ask me a lot what my specs are just while I'm streaming and stuff like that. So that's how I remember my specs so easily. It's just a question I get asked on a pretty regular basis, personally.
Yeah, my panels are the boxes in my room, mostly.
I'm actually on a laptop right now.
Devin is me.
No comment. No, nobody wanted to say. There's a little silence there.
Wait, you said you're on a laptop?
Yeah, I said I'm on a laptop right now.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Ken also said Devin is me to the fullest degree about that stuff. I guess it works. Hey, if it works, it works. We'll take it. Does anyone else?
1080. That's I know that.
A 1080? Oh, that's good. Let's say that's a solid GPU.
Or 10. Do I have a 10? I don't know, dude. Maybe I don't know. Never ignore me.
All I know is that you have a Core i7 and a 1080 or whatever fucking GPU.
Shoria says that Alienware laptop. No, it's a Dell.
Dell actually makes Alienware, so
no,
but it's not one of the Alienware laptops.
HP.
Oh, HP. Okay, I was about to say probably a lot of parts in there that are similar to the Alienwares, but if it's HP, probably HP. the same guts, but not the same brand on top.
That was actually the laptop I had for a while. It was like this fat like HP laptop. It was huge.
Nice.
Not designed for gaming. It was like some office laptop.
It's
How
slow.
good would a laptop have to be for studio? Do you want Streamlabs OBS, the one that's simple to set up for streaming, but like a little bit more intensive, or Studio OBS, hey Rico? It depends on that one. Because it depends on what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for Streamlabs OBS, you're going to want a little bit more power under the hood. For streaming purposes specifically, you're going to want enough cores to be able to run your game well, depending on what you want to play, as well as use the software. So if you're using Studio OBS, you can be a little bit more forgiving. Like Shrimpy's setup is about the minimum where I would go if you're looking to build new. Like the Ryzen processors are really good for multitasking. You won't get as good of frame rates in games, but like the multitasking stuff is really good with Ryzen.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I would go for AMD over anything. Just simply, especially if you're into like video editing and stuff. You know, like a Ryzen 3 is like the bare minimum, but if you really want to utilize it, I would go with a Ryzen 5 3600 or a Ryzen 7 3700X.
Yeah, really solid CPUs to go for. GPU, I'm still in the NVIDIA camp personally, just because like optimization hasn't been as good on the Radeon graphics cards. So you'd probably be looking to get at least a 1060 for streaming purposes. But you know, you can be a little bit flexible with what GPU you get. I know it's really hard to find a good GPU in the current market, and you're probably going to be forced to buy secondhand if you're trying to build right now.
We picked up an RX 570 for somehow pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And I haven't had an issue with it at all. I haven't really touched the AMD software, but I mean, I just use OBS for everything, so.
Yeah. And a lot of the issues optimization wise too are going to be on newer games. They're not going to be on like games like Valorant or Counter-Strike or League of Legends or anything like that. You know, like the really popular games that just run on every machine. You're not going to have too much of an issue with those if you go Radeon. It's just if you're trying to play like cutting edge games that just came out or anything like that. Like if you're trying to play the new Days Gone port when that happens, you know, like you might have some issues with that one, like just because drivers and stuff like that don't get updated as quick for AMD as they do for NVIDIA. So I would say like what you're looking for pretty much is like at least, you know, a Ryzen like 3100 processor, or Ryzen 3 series 31, like, right? Isn't that the lower tier one? Is the 31 series? Yeah. Processor, and like I would say aim for around a 1060 graphics card, but a little bit more than that if you can will be good. You actually just built a 4K PC. Let's go, Teddy. That's awesome. That's big poggies. So, all right. Well, if no one has any more questions or anything like that they want to ask us, guys, this was a very fun episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed this. I want to thank you again for coming on, Shrimpy. It's been awesome having you here on the show. Hopefully, hopefully you guys are going to have a fantastic rest of your week. Do you guys want to say anything else before we sign off?
I'm on a laptop.
Yep, Twitch Prime, sub to Vince.
Gosh darn it. My man actually hit him with the, yep, use your Twitch Prime. Good God. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're awesome, dude. But guys, until later, thank you so much for being here. Everyone who watched, everyone who listens, we appreciate you guys. We really do. You guys are the reason why we do what we do. I know we say that a lot, but you guys are amazing. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week and take care of yourselves. And we're going to go ahead and drop somebody else a raid at the end of this stream. So feel free to hang out and go show some love to somebody else in the community. Take care, everybody.
Later, fam.